Welcome to the Red Permit Test. To complete your training, you are tasked with making a stock piece that utilizes all of the machines that you have studied earlier. First, grab the aluminum stock and take it to the horizontal bandsaw for a rough cut of 4 inches. When measuring, give yourself an extra 1/8 of an inch for leeway. File down the rough edges and corners before taking it over to the layout table. On the layout table, you should have the following tools: combination square, a flat leg compass, a tap and tap wrench, center punch, scribe, ball peen hammer, and some die. Start out the layout by first applying a light and even coat of the Dicom die to the face of the workpiece. A few brush strokes worth of die should be sufficient. A little more was applied in this example for recording purposes. Once you're done, you can let it air dry or use the air pump to speed the process. Following the drawing, set the combination square to 1/2 inch and scribe the initial lines on each side. Then set the combination square to 1 inch and repeat as shown. This creates the initial guide for you to scribe a full line down the face of the workpiece. To mark the centers of the drilled holes, scribe at 3/4 of one outside line and 2 1/4 inch of the other outside line. Then scribe another at 3 inches on the center line. Then you can indent the respective marks with the ball peen hammer and center punch. With the flat leg compass, set the width from the center line to the edge of the workpiece. With one leg at the indent, scribe the semicircle from one edge to the other. Mount the piece onto the vise and take it over to the drill press for drilling. Again, start with the center drill before following through with the twist drill. Each hole has a different diameter, so don't forget to look at the drawing to know what diameter drill bit to use on each hole. These diameters include 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and a 1/4 inch 20 thread bit. And don't forget to set the correct RPM for each bit. Once you've drilled the holes, use a countersink to bevel the edges. A light tap should be just enough. Bring the workpiece back over to the layout table to tap the 1/4 inch hole. Before starting, apply the tap magic, and with a light pressure, you can begin the threaded process. The oil is essential to cutting thread and should always be used. Notice how after threading a few turns, the tap is reversed. This is to back out any of the chips of material that are being made, which can cause friction and seize the bit and potentially break it. A crunchy feeling when threading is a telltale sign of this occurring, and if it does, reverse the threading to brush off any of the chips and apply more tap oil. Once completed, you may bring it over to the metal bandsaw to cut away the bulk material around the curvature. Make straight passes from the center to the edge, and remember to use a push stick when operating this close. Use the belt sander to round out any of the edges. As a final step, file down any of the rough edges. If you want to make it look all shiny and pretty, just apply some elbow grease. That'll do the trick. And that's it. The overseeing lab tech will follow you around during this process to evaluate how you handle yourself and others with the machines, and will give you instructions, comments, and concerns as necessary. Remember that this is more than a test to see if you can make the part, but how you act as an individual or as a team during this process.